What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special presentation of The Buzz tonight. We have current challenge star Devin Walker that's going to join us tonight. Check out this video. Ladies and gentlemen, man, our one and only Devin Walker is here with us tonight. What's up, Devin? How you doing, man?
Gentlemen, let me just start by saying the graphic scenario you guys have introduction-wise, top tier. I mean, we've got some legitimate production involved here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, A+ stuff. I also see that we actually are live, so I'm going to need to just dial myself down a little bit as not to get canceled. So
yeah, man.
Let's do it. I'm happy to be here. Great intro.
Thank you.
A little bit goes a long way in the podcast world.
Yeah. Hey, yo, man. Hey, as you can see on the bottom, man, you've had a crazy resume on reality TV. As you guys can see in the bottom of the ticker, we got some great praise on this last time when we did the interview with Wes. So we wanted to highlight your career a little bit. 5 seasons on the challenge, 2 daily wins, 4-1 elimination record that I think a lot of people didn't even know about. Eliminated Wes and Bananas. 12,500 you have won. And then from your Are You the One career, because people forget that's where you started. Season 3 winner. And you also were the only winner from Second Chances, which got you 182,000, my man. How about that career? That looks pretty good.
Well, hopefully we are trending in the right direction here, because as all great competitors, I, came in hot, had a pretty significant fall from grace, and now we are battling our way back into the light.
That's good, man. I love to hear that, dude. Love to hear that. So, hey, Devin, let's get into it, man. I know this season has been absolutely just crazy, crazy promotion. I'm already a fan of it already. Season 36 Double Agents. What did you expect coming into Double Agents this season?
Yeah, well, I first of all didn't expect really ever to do a challenge again, because a lot of people don't know this, but that wasn't my it wasn't like I decided to take time away from the challenge or really any other reality show for that matter. That was just kind of, I guess I kind of got fired in a sense. I don't know that to be true or not, or maybe I didn't fit the themes or whatever, but the call stopped coming. So when I got another chance, I knew I was going to take it. I've been waiting for it. And I kind of expected things to go as they are going so far on this season, which is to have a big target on my back, because you're essentially you're a rookie again when you take a little bit of time off and you come back. No one cares what you did before. The challenge is very much what have you done for me lately in terms of alliances. And so outside of my relationship with Wes and Kyle, who I, have maintained friendships with outside of the show, I was coming into this with a bunch of people that just recently played the game together. So I expected to be singled out a little bit in that sense. And that is, as we've seen, exactly what happened. So it was pretty much what I expected. I will say, obviously without giving anything away, things become as they, how do I say this? things become much less predictable from my lens very soon. So I kind of knew what I was getting into. I assumed my back would be up against the wall pretty much right away. It was. And then I got some pleasant and some not so pleasant surprises, as you guys will watch unfold here soon.
Yeah, man, I definitely could see that. I want to dive in more into it because that's really interesting to me because you have, according to you, like you said, you haven't gotten any calls, so you thought you were fired. Was that after X on the Beach too?
Well, I shouldn't say that I didn't get any calls. I was getting calls and I was getting waitlisted essentially. So there was. Okay. So I was an alternate.
Got you.
Which for me was. I didn't even know that position existed, because you gotta think. I did Are You the One, right? I went right into Rivals 3, right. And then I did Second Chances after that, won it, and then it was immediate call cast for the next 3 challenges, which was Dirty 30, and I thought after my performance on Dirty 30, well, that's it, that's you don't get to leave first, suck at everything, and then come back, but I did. Vendettas was good. And then Final Reckoning obviously was what it was. As I said, on this season, I embarrassed myself. And so I think it was just kind of like, listen, we've got other people that want it just as bad as you do and are less of a liability because you're not in a good headspace right now. And I give the casting people credit. I probably wasn't ready to come back. And this time I was, and I think they recognized that. And that's what we're seeing here now is somebody that is kind of fresh because they were gone for a while, but a veteran in the sense of I know what to expect from the game. And so I was trying to use both of those things to my advantage. I knew I wasn't going to have many alliances coming in. So some of the greatest players to ever play this game go in without alliances all the time. And they're not rookies. It's just because they know that with an alliance comes a lot of baggage, like we saw with me and Wes. If you've got a legitimate number one, the first thing people are going to try to do is pin you against that person right away.
Yeah, we got Carrie chiming in with that's really surprising. Devin wasn't one of the number one picks for the show. Easily one of the best commentary of the interviews for MVT.
I take it, yeah. I do. I think this kind of sucks to say in a competitive show, but one of the best things I bring to the table is that there's really no filter, especially when I'm in an interview chair, as you guys will learn in the next X amount of minutes. I can't help but just say what I feel and be myself. And there's a lot of other guys that are really strong or really fit or have great endurance. I can talk shit better than anybody I know.
Yes, you can.
That's what I got going for me.
And that's why I'm a fan of yours, because you just don't give a shit. And I live my life the same way. With that being said, Devin, can you go? I know we talked a little bit with Wes last time, but can you go? Because I don't think Wes has ever been in this position before, like you have. Can you go and tell us the process of what it is being an alternate?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. It's like hold the dates, and if somebody backs out last minute or gets injured or we need you to fill in, then be ready for it. And I was happy. Don't get me wrong. I was happy to receive that, because you look at this show and you think about how many people they have to pick from, and to even be considered to be on what I believe to be the greatest reality TV show on planet Earth. That's like, I'm obviously biased, and I know what we go through, so I'm like even more biased. But I can't think of another show that brings like all phases of the game the way that the challenge does. So to even be considered for it is awesome. And then to be an alternate, also, like, you're way ahead of a lot of people, and to actually get on the show, it's really kind of an honor. And I took that for granted my first few times, because I didn't realize what it was like to be on the outside looking in.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
having had that happen, it's almost like, you're dating somebody and you break up and then somebody else starts seeing them and you're like, I might have fucked that one up. It's like, and all of a sudden you want that person back. So it was like that in a little bit of a sense, because I saw all these other people not necessarily taking my role, but definitely like filling in for me and not doing a very good job, I thought. Again, biased, but it's good to be back.
We got Jenna chiming in. Do you ever worry about when other cast members see what you say on TV? What comments do you go most shit for?
No, I don't. So this is one thing, like, there isn't a challenger I've ever done a challenge with. There isn't a person on reality TV that I've ever done a show with that will say that I'm different to their face than I am behind closed doors. Like, people will say I turn it on for the camera, or I'm like more chill in real life or whatever, but that has to do with the scenario. That has to do with, in real life, I'm fortunate enough now to have worked really hard in my life and set myself up in a position where I get to kind of like make my own rules and my own schedule. So if I don't like somebody, I can leave the place I'm at or never have to talk to them again. And reality TV, it's obviously not like that, because you're all in there for a fixed amount of time and you have to deal with each other. That's where like a different side of my personality comes out. But I don't really get a lot of shit for anything that I say in a confessional or in an interview or in a private conversation, because that person is well aware how I feel about them before I step into that confessional or sit in that interview chair or have a private conversation, off or on camera. I've played this game uniquely, as straight up as you could possibly play it. And I intend on playing it that way until I don't play it anymore. I would rather play it this way and have a harder road to a championship than to lie and sneak and deceive my way to the top. It's just not my style. I'm a stab you in the chest kind of guy. I just am.
We got Casey commenting, is the challenge more difficult physically or mentally, and why?
I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's mentally. We see a lot of really, really physically fit people on this show. And we see time and time again something break them. And I am guilty of this as well. Like, I consider myself to be a really strong mental person, and still, especially Double Agents, this was the most stressful season of TV I've ever done. Still, it's the moments that you don't see. It's sleeping in a bunk bed. When people are farting and burping and everyone shares the same shower. There's 30 people, one kitchen. Not getting to eat the food that you want, not getting to work out on your schedule, having to ask to do everything, like, that is the part that'll break people. And that's why we see the multi-time champions that we see are so successful at this show, because they've gotten over that part of it. That part of it doesn't shock their systems at all. The CTs, the Wesses, the Johnnies, the Cara Marias, the Laurels, the Jordans, those people have done this so many times that the most difficult part of it, it's still hard for them. And I know this because I will speak for them a little bit here. It's still difficult, but it's not as difficult as getting jolted into something that you have no idea what's happening, which is why we rarely see rookies win this game. Because it's easy to be like, okay, I can run a 6.5 minute mile. I got pace on that. I can lift X amount of weight. I can do this. I can do that. When your friends start stabbing you in the back, when you don't get any sleep, when TJ wakes you up at 6:30 in the morning and it's an up all night challenge, you can't prepare for that unless you've done it before.
Damn. Let's shift gears a little bit, Devin. Let's get into where you grew up, man. How was it growing up in Northampton, Massachusetts, for you?
I'm a big scale guy. I'm going to go 8.7 out of 10. And I've probably given this answer on like 12 different podcasts, and it always is a different answer, really depending on how I'm feeling. I'm going to go 8.7. It was as protected a upbringing as you wanted it to be. If you were looking for trouble, which I was, you could find it, but it wasn't going to come looking for you. And so that I really appreciate that part about Northampton. I felt safe my whole life. And I really have tried never to take that for granted, because there's been times in my life since being a kid where I haven't felt safe. And I think a lot of people feel that way all the time, and it sucks. But I credit Northampton with one of my probably favorite parts about myself is, above all else, take reality TV out of it, take business out of it, take it all out of it. I have a feeling and a desire for equality because of Northampton, Massachusetts, because that it was instilled in me from a really young age that there are definitely people are going to judge you based off of your sexual preference or your skin color or your gender or whatever it is. People want to judge you, they want to do that. And here we're not going to do that. So here we're going to judge people based off of who they are, how they act. And it doesn't matter if they're big or small or black or white or gay or straight or what, fill in the blank here. You know what I mean? It's just like, we're going to judge people based off of how that person is when all that stuff is stripped away. But also try to understand that the reason why some people are acting the way that they are is because they've had a more difficult life than you have, Devin, like, upper middle class white man. So I had a unique perspective in inequality, and I'm really thankful to Northampton for that.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. I love that. I know we got a couple comments here. My buddy D showed you real quick. Devin, you're a favorite challenger of mine, especially watching you get to Josh. We'll dive into that a little bit later. Austin wants to know, what's good, Devin? So talk to me. How hard was it to understand Nicole?
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, God, we're live here, too. Hold on, boys. I'm going to kill we got a smoke detector happening here. I'm killing the mic.
No worries. He has a smoke detector going on right now live. It's all good. It's all good. Really awesome how you got into that, huh, Daniel, with his life and where he's from. It's really, wish the whole world would be like that.
Yeah.
Give me a second, boys. I gotta try to slow this down. My neighbor's probably smoking a big joint right in his.
Yeah, so he's gonna deal with that right now. Guys, if you have any questions, give us the comments, give your questions, and we're gonna answer those questions for you, put you up on the screen. Thank you guys for joining in. 22 viewers. It's really awesome. We're really blessed, and thank you. Just keep giving us the questions.
Yep. And then while we wait for them, if you want to find us on social medias, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. And here's our video real quick while we wait for them to come back.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I'd go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now.
Yeah. We are the Buzz, man. You can follow us on all those social media platforms, and you can really dive in. We do daily articles every day. We cover pop culture, sports, movies, comic books, music. Obviously, right now the NFL is really huge, so we're diving into that to get that going. I know, Daniel. I know we have another video. I'm rocking it right now. I'm rocking that T-shirt. You can see it's Manscaped. We are partnered up with Manscaped for all your needs and everything that you need when it comes to your balls. They need it. You're here to help you with it. Check out this awesome little video we got right here of Manscaped that our partner did for us.
Jesus. Woo.
Yeah. All right, he's back.
We're back.
No worries.
My apologies. We had there isn't a fire.
Good.
So that is good news.
We were able to plug in our partnership in a couple commercials, so no worries. We get some extra time with you now, so it's all good.
Hey, I'm here pretty much on. There's no Monday Night Football tonight.
Exactly.
So, I got a fair amount of time.
Yeah, so I know we brought it up with Austin. He wanted to know how hard was it to understand Nicole.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Nicole's a very excitable person. She's a very passionate person, and she has a very thick accent. So it is not easy to understand Nicole, but I did know that was a little bit of me kind of embellishing. I knew what she was saying. Like I could understand her. But that it made for one of the better commentary moments of the season. So, we'll do it. But I do want to say, I love Nicole. I think she's phenomenal. I have a lot of respect for her as just a person because of things I know about her in her real life, and I was lucky to get her as a partner. So although it seemed like I was trying to jump ship, that was mainly because in this game on Double Agents, once you have like a relationship, a trusting relationship with somebody, the worst thing to do is be their partner. Because although you get individual votes, it limits your ability to kind of switch the game up from a competition standpoint. So like say like this truck situation, right? So say it's me and Kyle on one side, and then it's Cam and Nicole on the other side. Me and Kyle were totally on the same page with whichever one of our chicks goes off first. We're just going to go off. You know what I mean? And let the other one take it, pretty much. Which no one will ever say this, but that's what a lot of other people did. And so when you're in an alliance with someone on your own team, it kind of waters down your effectiveness because you are only able to do so much as one team. So it would have benefited me to have a continued strong relationship with Nicole, but then to pick someone like Tori or to pick someone like Cam or like Casey, who was on the other side of the house than me. So I probably would have done that even if Nicole had stayed in the game. And she's not going to like to hear that, but I knew what I was going to do. It makes no sense to have a teammate that's in your alliance.
Devin, if you could run a final with any partner, guy or girl, who would it be?
Guy or girl final, any partner. Am I trying to win or be funny?
Trying to win.
Trying to win.
Go with that. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Let's go with trying to win. Yeah, because I was going to say there's a few people that with me in a final would be hilarious, but that's not what we're talking about. I would say so. I would want to do it with someone that has never won one before, and I would want to do it with someone from Already the One.
Ooh.
I know that because, and I would want it to be a co-ed final because they're easier. So people can say whatever they want, but I also know for sure, like if I'm on a team with like Jordan or Wes or someone like that, then there's a chance that I would be, slowing them down. But if I was on a team with, I would say Cam or Tori, because I know they're both monster competitors. They're both incredibly good competitors. They're both going to be much better than most of the other women in the show. And they've proven that. They both have never won. They both are from Already the One. And I know that I would feel much less pressure if I had to, from an aerobic standpoint, be on their pace than, say, be on someone like Jordan's pace. Because it's like, if I'm the one, I know I can run with either one of them. And I know that they're going to be strong enough to give us a little bit of an edge on something physical. And they're both good enough at puzzles where they're not going to like slow me down, and I'll be able to give us a little bit of an edge on that. So I would say, for all those reasons, Cam or Tori. I want someone from Already the One to win this show so bad. Hunter almost did it, and then he didn't actually do it because Ashley stole the money.
Does it still count as a win, though?
No.
No?
No, you didn't get paid.
Oh.
Should have come in last. There was one winner. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was one winner on that show.
So I 1,000% agree with what you're saying, but you're saying without, like, even on the record books, a challenge win isn't under his belt?
This is what happened. They were told it was a team game. Psych, It's not a team game. One person gets the trophy. That person is the winner. Who got the trophy?
She got the trophy. All right. That's fair. That's a good point.
Hunter got the same thing that the second place team got, the third place team got, the fourth place team got. And that's why if I was him, obviously $500,000. I'm pissed about that. But I'm also pissed because, by whatever, however they were measuring that final, he did not win. If he had won, it would have been his choice to keep it or split it, right? If he had won and said, I'm going to split it, then there's two winners. But in this scenario, she said, nah. Sarah doesn't get that other one that Johnny stole from either.
You just took my question away, damn it. You just took my question away.
Sarah didn't win. She won, but she didn't win.
How when you were there, okay, I that's going to skip a couple questions I have for you, but when you were there, let's just get to it. What was that just initial reaction when Johnny just took the money from her? And did you guys all fly home together even after that decision was made?
We all drove home on a bus.
Oh, jeez.
First of all, I'm connecting a few dots here, but I think we were supposed to get a ride down from the top of the mountain.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure there was going to be like a helicopter or something. Me and Cheyenne took so long to complete that final that it was too dark. We couldn't, so we all had to walk down the mountain, which took about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So she got all the money taken from her. Then she had to walk down the mountain, and then we all got put on a bus and drove back to the house. So like there was no separating. We were all there together. Yeah.
And what was your reaction when you found out that Johnny? Like, what were you thinking in your head?
I've changed a lot from now till then. And I like Sarah. I really do. I think that she is she's got a good heart. But what Sarah did on that season, and watching it back now, with hindsight's 2020, you know, and seeing what she had done, you got to remember this too. I had no idea their history. Because when I don't watch reality TV that I'm not on, so I'd never seen a single. Oh my God, boys! I'm sorry. I don't know what's going. We got problems here. Give me a minute.
These damn fire alarms, man, they're happening. It's like it's not meant to be right now. That's interesting. You want to recap on that real quick, Daniel? Do you agree with them on Hunter not being a winner?
I agree, just because if you look at it, I believe all the other teams split. So out of all of them, he's the only one that didn't come out with any money.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that he won. I always thought that he got, because he did finish the final.
Yeah.
But it does make a lot of sense on how Devin is explaining it, how the money went all to Ashley. No, Hunter went home just like second place finishers and third place finishers on that season. So, that was a great way of explaining it. So, you're on mute.
It is bad in here. I don't know what's going on, but I live right now in a building that's got another unit attached to it.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe somebody's not doing such a good time. With
Devin is
cooking.
so fired. Devin is so fired. He's setting off alarms.
I'm setting off. I don't know what's going on here. I need to open my beer too. Anyways, I didn't realize the history between Johnny and Sarah, and I also, because I was so caught up in the moment of what was happening, when you rewatch that season, you get to see exactly how convincing people can become of their own thoughts, even if those thoughts are completely wrong. Yeah. And Sarah had convinced herself that Johnny was such a bad guy that it was okay to do what she had done to him to win her, previous show with Jordan. And she had no issue with doing that because she'd convinced herself that he was a really bad guy. Now, flash forward to them being partners, she then convinces herself that he isn't this bad guy. And she does that so that they can work the best way as a team, right? So now all of a sudden, everything that she had said about him, it wasn't a game move what she did. She was very clear about that. It wasn't a game move with her and Jordan. It was okay because Johnny does things that she doesn't like in Friends, right? So she convinced herself of that, and then she moved past that to be his partner. But then there was some situations during that show where she sided with him, particularly in the Cheyenne situation with Vince and Cheyenne, where to me was just completely unacceptable. And I made my stance on that very clear with what they were doing. And now, again, if that happened
today,
3 months ago, good night to every single person in that room. Every single one of them in that room. Jenna's done, Vince is done, Johnny's done, Sarah's done. If that situation happened on this season of the show, they're all done forever. Canceled. Done. It happened then. It is what it is. But she stood right by him. And in that moment, I kind of realized this is somebody that is is a big freedom fighter when they're on the side that's being made fun of or oppressed or whatever word you want to use to describe that. You know, when Sarah was the one with something bad happening to her, it was the end of the world, right? Mm-hmm. But when something bad was happening to somebody else, Sarah wasn't there standing up for that person. And that's not a characteristic that I like in a person. And it makes me, now having gone back and looked at it and knowing them both on somewhat of a personal level, completely understand why Johnny did what he did, and I don't blame him for it. Had I known the whole situation as it was unfolding, I would have been much less surprised. But I was, because I was naive to all of the things that had happened before that, I was a little bit surprised because they did seem so close on the show.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So we were all definitely surprised, but now looking back at it, I'm more surprised that Sarah didn't see it coming. I'm like, well, obviously. And I told her this. People don't, this never gets talked about. The deciding situation in that final was, and I don't even know if people remember it, we had to stand on a log.
Yes.
All night. Right? And for anybody who trusts their partner, like Vince stood on that log 80% of the time. I stood on that log 80% of the time. Sarah and Johnny stood in that log probably 51 and 49% of the time because neither one of them trusted each other. In me and Vince's minds, we were thinking, okay, we're going to need to stand on this log because we got to get our partners up this mountain tomorrow. You know, so we need them to rest. We need them to be on their A game. Johnny and Sarah, neither one of them thought about it that way. Johnny made sure Sarah just got played, essentially. He convinced her, I'm not going to take the money. I'm not going to take the money. Go in there, get rest. Look what these guys are doing for their partners. Let me take this one, put it on my shoulders, and we're going to split the money. And I told her, I looked her dead in her eyes on that log. I said, Sarah, do not get off this fucking log. If you get off this log, you are handing him a check for $275,000. You might as well just give it to him now. And she, because Devin said it to her, she was like, no, that can't be right. Oh, it was right.
She also
looked her right in her face. I mean, they were talking about it. Johnny and Vince, I'm really shiny, were on either side of me. Also, if that isn't hell on earth, tell me what is. You got Vince on one side, you got Johnny on the other. I'm standing on a log on a mountaintop in Argentina, starving. Okay, what's for breakfast? Brain and tongue. Okay, that was my reality. Okay, and I told her, they were talking about it, they were chatting about it, and I knew what Johnny was saying without saying it, and I knew Vince was being like, "Oh yeah, you should take it, definitely take it." And so when they did their little switch, I told her, "Sarah, don't get off this log." And she thought I was trying to be like, stay on here so you're tired so I could win. Oh, yeah. Devin and Cheyenne, who took literally 7 hours to climb the mountain. That was my ulterior motive, was to tire you out, Sarah, by having you stand on this log so that me and Cheyenne could win. No, we had no chance. We knew that. Everybody knew
that. Jenna wrote, the edit made it seem like Sarah was sick and Johnny was being kind, so she slept. It made it seem like he was on the log all night and she slept.
No, Sarah was out there.
Yeah, I believe it.
Sarah was out there for a fair amount of time. I don't know if she was sick because that whole day is kind of like I kind of blacked it out because it was really uncomfortable. But she was definitely out there for a fair amount of time. And I 100% looked her dead in her eyes and said, if you get off this log, he's going to steal the money from you.
I believe you. Didn't she also help Johnny in the first part of that final where he couldn't figure out the puzzle? I think it was like wires to the dynamite or something like that, and he was completely confused.
So the way that one was structured was that once you completed a checkpoint, it had nothing to do with individual time, except if it was you were the first person to do it. So if you solve the puzzle, you get that point, let's call it.
Okay.
You can then go back and help your partner solve it. So because it's the fastest team time that wins, and then it's the person with the most points on the team that gets the decision to steal or split.
Makes sense.
So she was right to finish the puzzle and then, go back and help him, because had she not done that, it would have sacrificed team time. And actually, Vince and Jenna, I think, only lost by half hour maybe. So that sounds like a lot, but over the period of 36 hours, that's really not that much time.
What do you think of some of the edits that people have gotten in the past?
I don't talk about edits. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't talk about edits because you did what you did when you knew that there was 8 dozen cameras pointed at you and you were wearing a microphone.
Yes.
Right? So, I don't really want to hear, the edit. You want to know what the editors do? The editors do an awesome fucking job at making an entertaining television show that you signed up for. So if you have a problem with the edit, you have a problem with yourself. You acted that way. Whether or not one small thing was taken out of, context or whatever, then be more careful with what you say. And I hate that excuse that people make. Oh, you got this edit, you got that edit. No, you did that. You gave them that material, right? Yep. And there's only 60 minutes a week. So each episode is probably 3 or 4 days. That's, 24, 72 hours worth of footage needs to get condensed into 60 minutes. A lot of stuff is going to hit the floor. There's going to be a lot of things that don't make it. That's just the reality of the situation. But I've got news for anybody that says that they got a bad edit. You would have been fired from everything and never gotten to have another job ever again if they actually showed all the dumb shit that you did. So you might have gotten a bad edit, but you got the best version of the edit they could give you. You're just an idiot.
Are you and Johnny still on bad terms?
I don't know. I mean, not on my end. I don't have a problem with him more so than anybody else that I've gotten into conflict with on reality TV. Right. And it was interesting to do this season without him because I got to hear people that I really respect and that I trust speak highly about him. Leroy being one of those people, Wes being one of those people, Kyle being one of those people, even CT being one of those people. And all of their kind of read on my situation with Johnny is that we both got each other wrong. It was just like this, it was a bad time for me or it was a bad time for him. And from the beginning, it just didn't sync up. So, I don't have any ill will or hate towards anybody that I've ever done these shows with. I know how stressful they can be. I know how intense the environment can be. And before I had this little break and I got to be on the outside looking in, it was really easy to judge people for their actions, which I don't want to do anymore and I'm not going to do. So, from where I'm sitting, do I agree with everything that Johnny's done? No. Is it my place to even have opinion on a lot of it? No. He's his own fucking person. I don't care. I mean, it's not affecting me really, except that every podcast I go on, I have to answer questions about Johnny. And so the one thing that I regret the most about my stint on reality TV is ever having a feud with him, because A, his fans are batshit crazy, and B, it will now be a topic of conversation on every podcast, every interview, everything that I ever go on. Someone will ask me this question, and I'm not mad at you guys for asking it.
Damn it!
I wish so badly that I didn't have to deal with it anymore. I do, and so
I don't blame you.
Insert whatever answer squashes all the questions.
Squash it.
Yeah.
All right, let's gear back. Let's gear back real quick, and let's go with. I'm really more interested in this because I thought you were the mastermind of this, and you're the reason why this cast won. How was it being on season 3 of Are You the One, and how did you end up on it?
Oh man, I got nothing but love for lighthearted entertainment. But I will tell you this: not the picture they painted. They got me on that one. That cast was particularly interesting, especially when you look at the success that a lot of us have had on reality TV in comparison to any of the other 8 seasons of that show. We've got me, Nelson, Hunter, Chuck, Amanda, Cheyenne, Brittany. That's 7 people from one 20-person cast. That's a third of the cast that has gone on to further their reality career or be like Chuck, for instance. He did one season of The Challenge, but he's like in a bunch of music videos. He's in a really successful band. He's like a rock star, you know? So that show was really intense to be on the first show, because I thought that's what they were all like. I thought that because there was that many big personalities on that show, and there's some people on there that should have gotten probably more credit than they did. But there's just, what are you going to take the whole cast and put them on a new show? But there was a lot of big personalities, and I thought, this is what it's like, right? It's like, this is what it's always going to be like. And it is not that way. We've seen it now with the Big Brother people who are a snore fest. It's like, not everybody has it in them, right? So, and don't get me wrong, there were some duds on my season of Are You the One. Alec comes to mind, absolute dud.
Brandon.
Who's that?
Brandon.
Well, yeah, Brandon wasn't on my season, but yeah, Brandon straight up quit, so that's a dud. Nate, total dud. So there's been some Are You the One flops, but for the most part, especially from my season, I thought that's what all reality TV was going to be like, and it was. I'm not kidding. When we first got there, it was awesome. It was like it was as advertised. You know, there's a keg in the backyard, and I was getting hammered, flirting with hot chicks, and I was being hilarious. That all slowly but surely got taken away, and it was, Bud Lights and ham sandwiches for a little while. And I was not into it. Don't get me wrong. I like Bud Light and a ham sandwich, but I want them on my terms. I don't want to force it.
Right.
So it was quite the experience to start off on, because it was one of the most entertaining casts that I've ever done a show with. And it was the first one. So then after that, I was, being like, wait a minute, what's this person doing here? I was like, Zach Longo's way more entertaining than this guy. Bring his ass in here. Yeah. So it set the bar really high. I'll say that.
Do you have you stayed in contact with the people from have you built close relationships with some of the castmates? And what about the girl that you were with most of the season?
I don't have a strong relationship with many people from my season, or really from any season of any season of reality TV, to be honest. I think this is one of the things I love, and I tell people this all the time. So right about 3 or 4 weeks into filming in any show, people start making plans, vacation plans, moving in together plans, whatever it is, right? And the reason for that is because there's nothing else to do but make plans. And in that pressure cooker and that microcosm for the universe, you think that this person that is your friend is really your best friend. And they are not. They are your friend because you've got no one else to fucking hang out with. That's why they're your friend. And I've done 10 seasons of reality TV, and I've seen this happen on every single one. The group chat after you're done filming, it comes in strong. GIF after GIF, meme after meme. And then slowly but surely, one person drops out. Another one drops out. And then all of a sudden, it's just 3 people, and they're left being like, are we still going to Bali? And the answer is no. You're fucking not going anywhere. None of you are going anywhere. You're not going to be friends. And the reason you're not going to be friends is because you were never compatible in the first place. And when you think about it, you took what really mattered to you and you threw 95% of it out the window so you would have somebody that could get you through this incredibly stressful experience. So I do have some friends, but I've probably filmed with 10 shows, at least 20 people a show, 20 people different a show, 200 people, at least. I'm in moderate contact with 20, and I would say 10 are my friends. So those aren't not great percentages. But that's me being honest. There's a lot of other people on there that would be in this chair, would be like casting for votes from next seasons or whatever. And they would be like, oh, yeah, I'm friends with everybody. It's like everyone's so amazing. And then, it's no, wrong. Most of these people, I don't like them. I don't.
I love it. I love it. Going into, I mean, you already said it for us, but Rivals 3, what were the expectations for you when they gave you the call and going to do the challenge, which is a different beast from Are You the One? And how was it?
I didn't know.
Oh, you did it?
I didn't know. I didn't even know what, I didn't know what it was.
Oh, wow.
I'm being totally honest. I did not know what I was getting myself into. And neither did Cheyenne. When we first got there, we looked at each other and we were like, oh my. First of all, we were everybody on that cast's wet dream. Like, they were so happy to see my fat ass walk in there with Cheyenne, who's saying to everybody, I'm not a big sports person. Not here for the sports part of it. All right. So they had, don't get me wrong, Cheyenne is strong, very, very strong, smart woman. She's not the fastest person, She's not going to break any speed records, right? We're not going to break any lifting records as a duo. So I could see like Leroy and Johnny and Wes licking their chops, being like, oh, thank you guys. You got us an absolute idiot to come in here and just get picked off right away. And that's what happened, Luckily for us, we then got brought back for no reason at all. And we made it all the way to the final. I had zero expectations because this is not a diss at all to the show before I was on it. It was equally as awesome. I just didn't watch it. I never had cable growing up. I just didn't watch a lot of TV.
That makes sense. Your best friend of all time, Wes, he's asking you, why is Wes the most well-rounded an amazing man on
Wait,
the planet.
is Bergman on this live
Let
right now?
alone the history of reality TV.
Why is Wes the most well-rounded and amazing man on the planet, let alone the history of reality TV? Yeah, all right. Good question, Mr. Bergman. So here's
Jesus.
the thing. I'm glad we're talking about Wes, actually. Here's the thing about Wes. No, you gotta be kidding me. The fire alarm. It's Wes's lava emoji. I'm starting to get concerned that there might be some sort of like CO2 problem in here. I will be back. Jesus, this is brutal. Boys, I'm sorry. This is unreal.
Oh my gosh. Just to recap real quick, Wes gave us a question. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, but we are the Buzz. 3 weeks ago, Daniel, we had Wes on as our first challenge interview. We've been actually keeping in contact with him the last couple of weeks, but I told him today that Devin was going to be on tonight, and I'm really happy that that he came on and gave us a question.
It was perfect timing too.
Guys, thank you for the questions. I know he's gonna give us some more time due to this. Devin's really killing it. You guys are killing it too. We're bringing the questions as fast as we can. Keep giving it to us. This is really a treasure for us, and we're having a lot of fun. So kind of crazy, huh, Daniel, that he had no idea about the challenge.
I would have thought he would have because he's been on live TV, but I guess because he doesn't watch it. But I feel like you don't hear about it from anybody else. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially being on the season of Are You the One, you would probably think, it's the third season that they've done that format. Yeah. And you would think the guys who, let's be honest here, they do cast some really athletic dudes on those shows. And that has to be the number one subject to be talking about, So looks like Wes Bergman brought the fire with this question. That's the founder of the Buzz right there, Archie Spangola. Guys, stay on. Devin's coming back. He hasn't left. Man, it's crazy. Dan, do we have another commercial to show to the people real quick?
Yes, we do. As you know, we are the Buzz. We're filled with many different podcasts right now for each sport, for entertainment. But here's our weekly schedule that we have that we just came out with and updated. But come check it out.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you don't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by a locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look with the top dish. Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. This is how champions are made, but it never happens in a day.
Yeah. So there it is. There. Let's dive in real quick about the last episode. Here he is. He's coming back right now. Hopefully he took the batteries out and just kaboom, the smoke alarm. It's all good, brother.
Than any other podcast that it would be able to, we just be able to edit this out. The live aspect of this particular podcast means everybody hears the fire alarm every time.
It's all good.
Back to Mr. Bergman. Not only has he won the show multiple times, he's done so with a gigantic pool of enemies. And he has done so in the wins that he's had in like pretty dominating fashion, right? So he is an incredible competitor, but also he's somebody that built the foundation of this show. And when we talk about Rushmore, and I mentioned this, I'm crossing off names on Mount Rushmore, and I am in Johnny and Wes. They're both on there. I think the next two for me are CT and Darrell. And I think that Jordan hasn't done it long enough, but he's up there. I think The Miz is up there. I think Mark Long gets honorable mention. And when you think, and then obviously these are the male side of the challenge. But when you think about the challenge, best to ever do it, Wes's name is without a doubt in the conversation. And that didn't happen overnight. It happened throughout, at this point, almost multiple decades of really hard work. And the funniest part about Wes's success is that he's done it with this false snake persona that I'm not sure if he gave it to himself or if it was given to him by other people trying to hype up propaganda. But I'm telling you right now, and I encourage people to find the clips of Wes fucking over his friends. Find them. I want to see them because it means that I may have missed something, right? But I want to see the clips where Wes says to his friends, to his alliance, I'm going to go do this, and then he does something different than that. I want to see those clips. Has he gone after people that he's not in alliance with? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Has he been shady to people that were working against him? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But what's almost more impressive about Wes's tenure on the challenge is that he has been one of the only people, and I can say this from unique personal experience, that has been able to keep his word with his friends and still be on Mount Rushmore. Right? And so that is it. Take the well-roundedness, throw it in the trash can. That is more impressive to me than really anything else. And that's why when I think about structuring my challenge career, I think about doing it in that way. Being somebody that never had to sacrifice my word or my friendships to put myself in a position to win.
What did you think of the speech that he gave after you eliminated him?
I thought the speech was a little bit much because they didn't care. Nobody cared. It was a good speech, but nobody cared. It was nothing that they hadn't thought of before Wes said it.
Yeah.
So I think what's more telling is the apologies that he has gotten since the show wrapped of people saying I was wrong. And Wes makes a really good point. I listened to a podcast he was on recently, and he said there was no reason for these people to take it as far as they did and start assassinating his character. It's one thing to say, okay, this was a game move. I'm making this game move because you stand in my way. It's another thing to try to justify your game move by throwing somebody else under the bus. And that's what Sarah did to Johnny, and which wasn't cool then. And that's what a lot of people are doing to Wes now, and it's not cool now. If you're going to make a game move, call it that. Say, listen, like Tony did when he put Johnny in against me. It wasn't, oh, Johnny's a piece of shit. Johnny stabs people in the back. If he were in my position, he would have thrown me under the bus. That wasn't it. Tony did it the right way. Tony said, you've been my mentor in this game. I've learned a lot from you. This is a game move. You're one of the winningest challengers of all time. If I'm trying to win the show, it's in my best interest to get you out of the game. I see a puzzle down here. I'm going to put you against Devin. That's how you do it. What you don't do is go into an interview and say, this person's a piece of shit. This person lies. This person manipulates, this person, does this and that, when they actually don't. And Wes doesn't. Like, this is not going to be a popular answer. But if he says, in my experience with him, and this is on the show or off the show, if he says he's going to do something, if he says he's going to be there, if he says he's going to call at 5:45, he calls at 5:45. Like, he just does what he says. So it's more impressive that he's gotten this far with a false persona attached to an already difficult game.
So, yeah, I appreciate. I know you're probably one of the most open guys, and like you said in the beginning of the podcast, no filter. You're bringing it all true and honesty. Does it bother you after that elimination, which is a tough elimination, gets you and Wes in the most recent episode? Does it bother you that do you think that he came off as like, I'm gonna let Devin get this, or do you really cold-heartedly believe within yourself, Devin, that he just was over it because he was hurt by his friends over this season and thrown him into the eliminations? Because what I don't understand, Devin, what I don't get from Cam and Leroy wanting to put the champions in, Darrell's still there. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. If what we are talking about is champions, then why am I down there?
Yeah.
Although I was on Champ Stars.
Well, hey.
They bent the rules a little bit for that one, so I guess why not?
Hey, I guess what happens when you keep on telling somebody what's 9 times 8.
Yeah, I don't know. That's you just get tossed in there. The thing is,
greatest line ever, by the way.
Yeah, it was a fire line. It's one that I didn't even realize in the moment was as funny as it was, but it was a classic. That's how I troll people in real life too. Like, you'll see me out, like you'll see someone like Josh try to beat me up in real life, and I'll be like hurling math problems at him and run away. So that's something I've used before. All you bullies out there, beware. Better bring your calculators. The Darrell angle is interesting. Because obviously Darrell and Leroy were working together. So the champion narrative doesn't fit there. And I think that it's become a little bit more clear that it was less about champions and more about Wes and CT. Yeah. And the reason it was more about Wes and CT than it was about champions is because they were the champions that weren't working with you directly. Even though Wes was trying to work with you, it was like they're the champions that weren't directly working with you, and they're the champions that you kind of feared would be able to pose a threat. So Darrell isn't going to want to hear this, but I think personally in Leroy's head, he thought Darrell is the least threatening of these champions, which is insane because Darrell is a monster.
Yes.
He's not only really, really strong, but he's really, really fast and he has great endurance. And he's one of the only people in the history of reality TV that has ever given me a legitimate game in chess. So I know that he's got it up. There are two people that have ever beaten me. I've probably played 5,000 games of chess on reality TV. That's maybe a slight exaggeration, but not by much.
Right.
Mark Jansen's beaten me, and Jay has beaten me. No one else has ever beaten me.
Wow.
And Jay caught me fresh off quarantine when I was like wasted, and he beat me a few times in a row, and then I went on to beat him 25 times in a row. So like Jay got a few cheap ones, and then I came back and whooped his ass. Mark Jansen is better at chess. Mark Jansen is better at chess than me, but Darrell is a very tough adversary on the chessboard, and he can run, and he's super strong. So that's like the only thing I can think of in that scenario is if I was in Leroy's position and I'm looking at these guys, I'm either looking for who's going to help me immediately, who's going to help me the most in the short term that I don't have to worry about in the long term. And I think for him, that was Darrell.
That makes sense. Switching gears a little bit, I could talk to you all day about strategy and all that. What was the experience when you got the call for Are You the One Second Chances? And how did it feel winning the entire competition?
That was an awesome one. That was another one, man. I feel like I always, like halfway through the show, I always lose my mind a little bit because the reality sets in that I don't get to leave. I don't get to leave unless I forfeit like everything that I've already worked for. And I literally have built my life to have the opposite of that. So getting the call for Second Chances, that was like, okay, Avi, you're doing an all-star show of Are You the One? Who's the number one draft pick? It's your guy. It's your boy. Yeah. I'm the best ever at Are You the One? From a guy's perspective, there isn't a close second. From a woman's perspective, Cam and Tori, in my opinion, are kind of neck and neck for who's the queen of Are You the One? And you got to kind of lean Tori because Cam was out of the game sooner. Yeah. I don't know if you guys watched those seasons, but Cam ended up going to the honeymoon suite. And so, and whereas Tori was in the game the whole time. But those are the two, right? And then you could put Nelson or you could put Hunter in this situation, but then it drags back to who won the show for the season. This guy. Who won the spinoff show? This guy. Who's been on the challenge and who's gotten money on the challenge? This guy. Sorry, Hunter, you won, but you didn't get any cash. I don't know. I think Nelson got second place, so he might have some cash. But I'm unanimously the king of Are You the One? So I expected the call, long story short. And I expected to win the show. I walked in there fresh off Rivals 3 with most of the cast looking up to me, honestly. And I just said, well, wait, hold on. Now, you guys are going to put me in a show where it's happening again. It's going to happen again. This seems to only be affecting one of them. I think we got a CO leak in here, boys. I think that's what we got. I'm going to play through. I'm going to play through the pain. Oh, Lord. It's getting closer. Get it out of here. Get that shit out of here. Get it together. Like I'm doing an interview. So the issue what the fuck were we talking about?
Are you the one
second chances? And I expected to win. And then we get there and it's like, okay, this isn't really like the challenge. It's more like the Amazing Race. And we're pretty much just going to make you solve puzzles. And then I said, Kobe, over. RIP, by the way. That one was bad. Kobe was the man, and they taken too soon. So RIP, Kobe. But I got that rock, and I just said, clock's winding down. This one's no brainer. Good night. No one else stands a chance. And in the prize winnings, as you guys noted, $182,000 out of an available $250. That is a landslide massacre victory, and it's actually where my kind of feud with Tori stems from, because in that game, very much like this current one, we were on opposite sides of the house and I just kept winning. And I won't name names on this, but there's a lot of people on that show that like still to this day hate me because they tried everything they could do and I just won everything. They put me last in the orders. They try to keep me up all night with pots and pans. I would like wake up with a smile, hammer a beer, go out and win. And I just did it over and over again. They couldn't handle it.
Beast. Long story short,
Sometimes, like, I do have a unique ability when my back's against the wall to just show up. I don't know where it's from. I was never that good at anything. Like, I'm pretty good at stuff for Northampton, Massachusetts, but if you take me to any big market, I get smoked in any sport. So I don't know where it came from, but I just, like, when the lights come on, I just feel like I can win. And, like, I really believe it. It's not like I'm, like, hyping myself up like fake.
yeah.
Like, I truly believe that in a one-on-one situation against anyone, I've got a pretty good chance in anything.
I like it. They hate you because they ain't you. All right, Cody. I like it, Cody. A lot of people we asked a lot of people today. They wanted to know, do you and Rashida still stay in contact after all these years?
I haven't talked to Rashida in a while. You know, life takes its course, and we live, you know, 2,000 miles apart. So we'll both reach out every now and again and just say, hey, you know, love you. And she was a big part of my life. She was my perfect match, and she was the catalyst to winning my first show. And I've got a ton of love for her. I don't have a bad thing to say about her, but from a, like, day-to-day perspective, she falls into the category of still have an occasional, you know, contact with, but we're not, you know, I'm not going to lie and say we're super close.
Makes sense. How was Corey as a partner? And would you guys have made it to the final reckoning if it wasn't for the spaghetti?
Partner ever.
Really?
Yeah. Worst partner ever. Name someone that has had a worse partner. And here's the thing.
Brandon?
This is what pains me so much. It's like, we were set up. Like, we would have, I mean, Hunter should be mad at Corey too, because he never would have got that money stolen from him if we were still there, because we would have won it. No doubt. Like, this whole situation, Ashley should send Corey some money because he's the reason that she's a millionaire. I mean, you got to take this is just a perfect example of how self-absorbed people can be in a situation like this. And I like Corey as a person, I do, but don't ever get it twisted. Corey is going to put Corey first before anybody else outside of his immediate family. And when I say his immediate family, I mean his daughters, his wife, Cheyenne, and then like his parents and his siblings. That is where Corey's priorities lie, as they should. And I don't knock him for that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this from my perspective, like, okay, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes and see what I would do. I got a partner that just lost their father. That probably shouldn't even be here. Let me keep as much heat off of us as possible, right? Let me make sure, let me hold him down. Let me make sure he's fucking good. Even though we're not that close, even though we're on this show because we're rivals, we're partners now. Let me, like, try to put myself in that position for a little while. And Corey was unable to do that. Not only was he unable to do that, he was unable to control his anger over pasta. And I understand what Tony did was disrespectful. But Tony, that's kind of how he is, you know? And I know when I say that, people are like, well, you shouldn't have done that. If you'd done that in the real world, blah, blah, blah. You got to understand that Tony is hilarious. And he didn't mean any harm by it. You know, if he could go back and redo it, he would. But he's just a reactive guy. He sees the pasta, throws it out the window. Like, it's just like, that's just what he did. So for Corey to be as reactionary as Tony was in that moment and to jeopardize $1 million for the both of us, worst partner ever. It's just as simple as that. I've had some interesting partners, right?
Yeah.
But and again, this is one of those hindsight's 2020 things where you start to realize who and what people are about as you get further away from certain situations. And again, this is not a knock on Corey, but Corey is about Corey and Corey's immediate family. And that's never going to change. I don't care if you're Nelson. I don't care if you're Hunter. I don't care if you're Fessy. I don't care who you are. Corey's priorities are about Corey. And I learned that
Hard way.
the hard way.
Yeah, you did. And I really had.
Or I guess we could say I learned that the El Dente way. Boom! Crushed it.
I did have you guys pitted as the team to beat, the team to win it that year, that season.
No doubter, and he knows it too, dude. He knows it too.
Yeah.
He knows that, like, it was, I am the yin to his yang. What are we going to do? What do we need to do, Corey? You need to run over there. You need to run up that mountain and get me some puzzle pieces. Let's go. Bring them back over here. I'll set it up, and then you can tell me, you can motivate me, push me harder physically. I can, explain and be patient and get you going in a puzzle sense. We were the perfect combo.
So
and
why
we came in halfway through the game?
Yeah.
We came in halfway through the game. You know what an advantage that is? We talked about, is it harder physically or mental at the beginning of this pod? Excuse me, I've had a few. We talked about, is it harder mentally or physically? It's harder mentally. We got a gift. We got a fucking – they cut off half the mental struggle for us and just put us in.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And not even – there was a redemption house. So, like, even if we had lost, we would have still been able to come back.
Yeah, you're right. With that being said, like you said, you're yin to his yang. You guys are a perfect match. Why was that? Was there ever talks going into this season of double agents of you guys working together because of the past relationship?
I've tried to work with Corey every season I've ever been on. In
Wow.
every season I've ever been on, he said, in so many words, he said, absolutely not.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Every time I've done it, I did it this season. I tried with Tori and Corey, and I said, listen, I've always wanted to do an Are Even One alliance. I feel like me and Corey are kind of, if he can't trust me at this point, I don't know whatever is going to allow him to. Right. Because I have done more in a game sense. First of all, I've never said his name. Right. And in that situation, when my real friend had gotten almost really hurt in Tony, my still immediate snap, whether it was drunk or not, reaction was have my partner's back. And so I mean, you can watch the footage.
No, you did.
Roll out.
You did.
And it's like, I feel terribly about that because my first instinct should have been, is Tony okay? Is where my mind should have gone right away. And it didn't go there. And it didn't go there for whatever reason. Blame it on the booze, blame it on my mental state, blame it on whatever it was. That was a mistake that I made that I need to own. And I've apologized to Tony for it. And I still feel badly about it. And, thankfully, he's accepted my apology. And the two of us have moved past that. But that was a fucked up thing for a friend to do to somebody. And that was me in a situation where the money and the show and the environment got the best of me. And I made a poor decision. And I'm not going to double down on it. I'm going to admit that I made a bad decision. But in that circumstance, Corey saw where my allegiance is in that type of situation. And it's like, I will ride with the people that I know that I'm riding with. And he still will have nothing to do with me. And I've said this in multiple interviews now. It's not one or two or three times. I've tried to work with Corey like 5 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Question here. A lot of people were asking, Devin, how do you feel about the allegations on Bear that Georgia has been saying?
Can someone bring me up to speed on these? Actually,
So
I have no idea what's going on here.
it's kind of confusing to me, to be honest with you. But according to Georgia, he recorded us and them having sex together, and then he released it to a couple of friends and his OnlyFans account, and then he had the whole, the video he did on Instagram where he almost it seems like he was going to kill himself. But
Yeah,
you
I
had
saw
any comments on that at all?
Video. Very alarming video. And I actually reached out to him with just like, listen, man, seems like you're having a hard time. If you want to get some shit off your chest, I'm here. Didn't get a response, didn't expect to get a response, but that was a heavy video to see. I had no idea. This is the first I'm hearing about the Georgia situation.
Yeah.
And if that is true, that's an incredibly disrespectful and uncool thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
On a ton of levels.
I agree.
And especially in the UK, because I've got some friends, obviously, in the UK from reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
We think it's big here. It is massive there.
Wow.
We're talking about full on paparazzi massive. Walk down the street in an outfit and it ends up on the front page of a tabloid magazine the next day. Go out cute, we don't even recognize how big it is. And that's why they all have 1 million+ followers on Instagram. Guess what? It's not because they bought them. It's because reality TV in the UK is gigantic. And I guess I can't really speak on the situation because I don't know the details of it, but this is what I would say. Bear, if you hear this, get some help, man. You need some help. We all need some help sometimes. Get some. And if you need someone to talk to, hit me up. I'll listen. I don't want anyone ever to feel like that, really, no matter what they've done. Because I personally think Bear's really entertaining. I thought he was one of the cool additions to, when I was gone, I was watching the show being like, oh, this kid's got some sauce, Oh
yeah.
If he did that to his friend and to someone that he was sleeping with, that's really not cool. What I would say to Georgia is, why the fuck did you let Bear film you having sex with him?
So she didn't know.
Wait, was she blindfolded?
It was a hidden camera, apparently.
It's a hidden camera.
I guess. I mean,
oh god, the plot thickens. Okay, yeah, I really should.
That guy said the details are very, very, screwed. So we don't really know. But
can I ask you this? Was this 100% he just did this thing, or was this a let's do this situation together and make a big?
I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
Nobody knows. All right, yeah, I'm gonna. Although I've already commented on it about 6 times, I'm gonna shut this one down.
We got one here, and I'm really interested to see what you're saying about this. Guy wants to know: did you feel Fessy bitch out in that elimination when Kyle called him out? Kyle called him a pussy.
There's 6 poles and 1 ring in the center of a mud pit. Did you think what did you think? What did you think?
Right?
What did you think you were doing? I'm confused about that one myself.
Yeah.
And it's just classic Big Brother. It is just, they have just been so ingrained with stay below the radar, don't ruffle any feathers. which is why it's so amazing that Josh A won that show, and then B is like friends with these people, because he is so not that way.
Yeah.
And I really don't get it. But when you look at Amber B, when you look at Casey, when you look at Fessy, when you look at most of these other people from Big Brother that have been on the challenge, outliers being Paulie and Josh, who I may not like either one of them. Paulie's done some really weird things to me. I don't really understand him as a person. He's a bizarre individual, but he's great entertainment, and so is Josh. And when challengers make a list of people that should be on the challenge, both of them are on that list. So I can't take anything away from him. You know who's not on that list? Fessy, Casey, Amber B, Natalie, Jose. Devon's also on that list. Devon, very entertaining, very smart, very savvy, knows what time it is, really good competitor kind of across the board. So the three big Brother names for me are Devon, Paulie, and Josh. And they are the was it introvert and extrovert? They are the extroverts of Big Brother. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was Fessy and I was 6'6", 255 pounds, and I saw 6 poles in a ring, I'd probably go down there. You know?
Definitely.
I'm probably stepping in. There honestly probably isn't many things. If I'm Fessy, there probably isn't many things I'm not stepping into unless it's a personality contest, because I'm fucking losing that one.
You know, it's you're answering all my questions I have for you. Do you know the Big Brother thing and all that cast coming in?
Can we get Fessy like a sponsorship from like Sleep Number or like a pillow company or like some sort of thing? Like, can we get him something like that? I know his response is going to be, can we get Devin a deodorant contract? Yeah, actually, I'd love one. Send one my way. Can we get Fessy literally like a sleeping bag, even a sleeping bag or a mattress or a pillow, anything that puts you to bed? You know, I feel like that would be a good branding combo for him.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Devin bringing the fire, as always. Dude, what's going on between you and Natalie?
I don't know.
She did a whole video for you, my man. During the holidays.
I know she did. I
couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. See, I was joking about this too, because one of the things that happened out of that, first of all, it was just like me shooting from the hip, just an opinion-based statement that really doesn't make much of a big deal. I don't feel like no one should really take much of what I say seriously unless I'm talking about serious topics, right? And who the worst challengers of all time are is not a serious topic. So in my mind, it should be taken as exactly that, which is not serious. But in classic Big Brother fashion, they are unable to take anything not seriously, because if it involves them, it's serious. And we all need to be serious about things that involve us. I don't care. I said what I said. Natalie felt a certain type of way about it. I don't know. I got great joy out of those videos. I will say both Jose and Natalie crushed it. Phenomenal response videos. A lot of good jokes in there. They really brought the heat. And one of the funniest things about it was that both of them were like, you just need to bring us up to stay relevant. And then they proceeded to do like big free advertisements for me. So
Right.
like, if I was trying to get you to give me attention, it has worked.
Definitely.
It wasn't my intention to begin with, but it has worked. I stand by my statement. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a weird thing to get your feelings hurt about. And if I really did hurt like Natalie or Jose's feelings or Joseph's feelings, who's the other one that I mentioned, I apologize. I'm sorry. It was meant to be kind of a joke, and it clearly wasn't taken that way. So, yeah, I apologize if you guys got your feelings hurt, but it's an opinion, it's an opinion.
Big Brother sucks.
Big Brother sucks.
I never watched it, so I'm
And America's Got Talent sucks too. Actually, though, that just kind of really good show.
Devin, I gotta ask you, man. Since I feel like we crossed that line, I'm just gonna ask you, who is who is one challenger that you just cannot stand? Can you name a name? Who is one guy you can?
I'll 100% name a few names. Don't get me wrong, but a challenger that I just can't stand, and this has got to be like in a game setting. Because
yes.
I'm telling you, it's very rarely, if you get the opportunity to hang out with somebody from this show off camera, when there isn't like the pressure of $1 million and like all of these other added factors, very few of them are like really hard to spend a day with, I'm not saying that I like them all, because I don't, but that's for different reasons. That's for political reasons, or what I think that they're bringing to society, or, all of those things. And again, who am I to really judge anybody? That's just, again, my opinion. So there's people I would choose not to hang out with. But there's also, most of these people would be really fun in a 24-hour setting with unlimited substances. Most of these people are really fun. There's got to be somebody that I just really wouldn't. I just couldn't see myself hanging or clicking with. It would be one of the sober people, for sure. And there's a few of those. There's definitely a few of those out there. I'll try to keep it on this. I'm going to try to keep it to this season so that it would be.
That's fair.
It'll be, I think. Okay.
I feel like the smoke alarm's going to go off.
I liked Natalie. Yeah, it should right now. I liked Natalie. I don't know if we'd have a great time together.
Yeah, that's fair.
I liked Lolo Jones. I thought she was cool, but not a ton of similar interests there. So I don't know if me and Lolo, unless I caught her at exactly the right time, if me and Lolo or me and Natalie would really be able to vibe. And Joseph is the same way. I mean, I don't mind the guy, but we just don't really have the same interests.
Yeah. So you and Lolo wouldn't get together. I wonder why you don't have a lot of same similarities. Is it because you're not a virgin?
Well, little known fact, I actually no, I'm kidding. No, that I think it's just like all three of those people are just built differently than I am in terms of what I would consider overanalyzation of things. Right. Okay. So I have a bit of an issue myself with constantly weighing risk reward. Like I can't turn off the math part of my brain, but I rarely really give a shit about anything. And all three of those people, in Lolo, Natalie, and Joseph, really are passionate and they care a lot. about life and about their purpose in it and what they're doing. And to be totally honest with you, that stresses me the fuck out. I get stressed out when everyone's like, what's my purpose? Where am I going? What am I doing next? I'm like, God damn it, we're here now. Let's just relax. How about that? How about we do that next? Relax.
This is a good one right here. Is there a secret hookup from this season or the past seasons that no one knows about?
Man, I'm the wrong guy to ask this question to because I care so little about that part of the show. That the answer is definitely yes, but that I honestly don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. There's definitely some.
Oh, I bet. I definitely bet. How do you I was getting a little, I thought you might have said Zach. I didn't think you and Zach would vibe that well with each other.
Which Zach? There's two.
I don't know his last name. Jenna Zach.
Big Zach?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, dude. 24 hours with Zach? Sign me up.
Really?
It'd be great for 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He can, dude, Zach can tip him too. Zach will let it ride. I mean, I don't know now with him being married to Jenna, how that has affected him, but I've had a lot of good laughs with Zach.
Okay.
He's actually a pretty funny guy, to be honest with you. I don't think we see totally eye to eye on like big political issues, but that has never really bothered me in terms of friends, because I would rather have a conversation with somebody that has a different point of view than me than immediately shut them out and say, no, you're wrong. Right. So I don't know Zach's political beliefs. I'm not going to act like I do, but I'm assuming that they're probably a little less liberal than mine. And maybe we would have, some conflict of interest there, but he's, in my experience with Zach, he's been funny and kind of personable.
Do you
Which
feel
is interesting because Fessy took his place, and he's the most boring person of all time.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, Fessy took Zach's place, 100%. No, without a doubt, that's what happened.
He's that boring?
Who, Fessy?
Yeah.
Most boring person of all time. Ask anybody that's filmed with him ever.
He danced in front of all those girls in the second episode.
Guys, I'm telling you.
I believe you.
You can't pull it out of him. He did have one really funny line, which I'll give him credit for. And when it might even be this episode coming up, he was funny, but it's just like incredibly reserved. And I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of making fun of Fessy just because it's fun to do, but for me, he's a pretty boring guy.
All right. I know. There's a comment out there. Who is the worst challenger between Hunter, Corey, and Nelson?
Well, it's definitely not Hunter. He's the best. Out of those, if I had to pick, if you were, so this is a better way to phrase that question. You've got the first pick in the draft, and TYB's on the table. Who you taking? Taking Hunter all day. And I think both Nelson and Corey would agree to this. They would say Hunter's a superior athlete because he is. He can swim. He can run. He can fight. He is a well-rounded physical specimen. And then it comes down probably to politics. And I'm then going to take Nelson because I believe, and he has proven himself to be more loyal and more a man of his word. And he is he's much less likely to do one thing and say one thing and do another.
Do another.
So if I had to rank TYB, which is really what the question is, I would go 1 Hunter, 2 Nelson, 3 Corey.
Which
is funny because Corey kind of runs the pack.
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems like Corey's the mastermind of that group a little bit. But with that being said, do you ever, or do you think that Hunter will ever come back and do another season?
I certainly hope he does.
Me too.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that he's checking a lot of boxes. When you start to put together a really fierce challenge competitor, and you start looking at what you need, he's upper echelon. He's another one of those guys that me and Kyle played this game a lot. We tried throughout the season to build our perfect season. Now, we know this can never happen because some of the people are duplicates of each other or whatever. But Hunter's in there pretty much every time. Nelson's in there every time. Corey's in there every time. So with me saying that any of them are bad means they're the worst of the best.
Okay.
So it's like you look at all three of those guys, and if you don't give them respect, you're a fucking idiot.
That's fair.
As far as I'm concerned, they are on the same page as the Kyles, and Jordan's a step up because he's won so many of them. But the Tonys, the Kyles, the Leroys, there's only championships separate a lot of these people. And you've got your Jordan, Johnny, West, CT, Darrell tier, and then you've got your next tier down. And for me, that's, Kyle, Tony, Nelson, Hunter, Corey.
There was a I agree
Then
with you
you've
with that.
got your entertainers, which is me, Josh, a few other guys you throw in the mix.
Do you if you're to consider yourself, I consider yourself more than an entertainer. I think you've done yourself really well. With that being said, do you think that Kyle is super underrated?
This is what's crazy. Kyle isn't underrated to anybody that does the show.
Yeah.
Kyle isn't underrated to anybody that's on the actual show. He's a massive threat to everybody. The kid's a freak of nature. What he's able to do with his habits is incredible. And all he's done is just beat people and win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all he's done. And he's done it in impressive fashion. And it sounds like I'm just, pumping up and, gassing up my friends. And
No, I agree with you.
I kind of am, but they're really good at this game.
No, I agree with you.
They're just really good at the game. That's what it is. There's some people that aren't good at this game. There's some people that are never going to be good at this game. And there's some people that just have they just have a switch. Kyle's got a switch.
Love it.
You don't want to see him down there. And that's actually one I'd really like to see is Hunter versus Kyle in something.
Ooh. What was your favorite season to film?
This one. But
okay.
outside of this one, Vendettas. No doubt.
Okay.
It was Tony time. And also, I gotta say, I can't say enough good things about Tony, right? Great looking, hilarious, incredible challenger. He's turned it around. He's now father of the year. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about, you want to talk about guys that are checking boxes? Let's chat a little about my guy, Tony Reigns. All right? The kid is fucking incredible. We actually me and Kyle started a group chat with Tony just to tell Tony how awesome Tony is. And it's like, this is not a joke. Any of us, all three of us will vouch for this. There is a group chat between the three of us, and it's literally just me and Kyle telling Tony how awesome he is. True.
Dude, that's
It's
oh
true.
my
And it's,
God. I love Tony.
It's funny. First of all, it's true, but it's also funny because it's true. Like, Tony's one of those guys. We're talking about guys you wouldn't want to spend 24 hours with. Tony's one of those guys you would. Tony's one of those guys you'd pay a fair amount of cash to be like, all right, listen, bro, we got unlimited things at our fingertips here. We've been given a free pass by the wives or the girlfriends or whoever. It's just me and you, pal. 24 hours. Let's let it ride. Top draft pick.
Oh God. Did you catch what he said on a I think it was an interview. He said the only way he'll come back to you and challenge is if you and Kyle are on this season.
Makes sense.
That's all. I loved it.
He's eliminated. Say there's 30 people on a cast, right? So 2 out of 30, it's what? 7.5% ish, right? Yeah. So he has eliminated 7.5% of ever getting a vote just by having me and Kyle on there. Never happening. Not happening.
Oh,
we've gone over this. It's like, listen, Kyle, Devin, one of you has to go into elimination or Tony's going. We both raise our hand right away. End this end, Teach.
That's freaking funny, dude.
He's our guy.
We're getting a little sentimental here. What goals do you have in the next 5 to 10 years?
I mean, I want to win. I want to win bad. But we're talking like show dreams or like my dreams?
I mean, both. Let's go with both.
All right. Here's the real deal. This is what I want for this is the goal. This has been the goal of my life for a really long time. And whenever I do one of these shows, they're like, Devin, why do you want the money? And I'm like, because my mom needs to retire. And it's like, yes, that is true. And she does. And I love her with all my heart. She deserves to retire. My mom is one of the most self-sufficient people I've ever met in my entire life. She will be fine without me. She has been fine. She's the strongest person I know. All she knows how to do is fight and fucking win. So I'm not really worried about my mom and her well-being. I'm never going to be able to do anything on a reality TV show that's going to set her up better than she's set herself up. Having come from nothing, I might add, literally nothing. So shout out to my mom, first of all, for being a fucking boss.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, what I've always wanted to do and what I hope to do in the next 5 to 10 is to be somebody that can use my platform and use the like innate kind of privilege that I have as a person to make my little footprint as positive as possible and to bring in as many people as I can into that and to spread opportunity throughout my immediate circle. And for me, because I'm not married, I don't have kids, that's like my friends and my community and the people that have been there for me when things are down. I'm not going to lie and be like, I want world peace. It's not going to happen. But I want to make sure that those people that have been riding for me from the beginning, and I don't mean once I've been on reality TV, I mean since I've been, a person. I've had my back against the wall in actual life a few times. There's been people that have been there for me through thick and thin, right? I've seen some shit, and I don't, I appreciate having seen it, and it makes me feel like I'm stronger, but I know what it's like to feel like you're a fucking totally alone. So I really want to start some sort of community or some sort of it sounds like I'm starting a cult. This is not a cult, but I want to have a
foundation.
Place, I want to have a place where people can come and they can experiment with psychedelics, which have really helped me through my life, and play fucking music and have a community that's there for them and talk out their shit. And I think it starts with one little pod, and it might be able to move into something bigger. But in 5 to 10, that's what I want to do, is help people get a hold on whatever it is that they're struggling with, and turn them around and offer opportunity to people that necessarily weren't given it right off the bat. And I like people that work hard. I work really hard. I've worked really hard to get where I'm at, and I recognize that. And that's why my friends from these shows are people like Wes and Kyle and Tony and other people that have worked really fucking hard to get what they have. And I want to spread that. I want to make that more accessible. And I'm not sure if that's through scholarship programs or through community-based learning or what those things are, but I'm going to figure it out.
My wife, she just wrote a comment on there, a nonprofit. She works for kids who deal with behavior issues and issues of suicidal issues, kids that have been messed with their families. It's been a blessing for her. She has her master's degree in the fields that she does, but that's why she wrote earlier how she's so happy that you talked about mental health, because it's such a real thing in our society today. So she appreciates
it's kind of taking a backseat too, in I guess maybe for good reason, because Corona has superseded it. But it was a buzzword for a little while, right? Mental health was a buzzword, and it was like it was cool to be paying attention to those people. Well, guess what? Guess who's left when that phase, that cool phase, fades out? Is the people that have those issues. And now they're wondering, well, everyone was all about it earlier, and I came out and I told you I had these issues, right? And yet everyone was supposed to be there for me, and now no one's here for me. That sucks. Yep. That's a shitty feeling. And I can't put myself in everybody's shoes, because I haven't lived their struggle, and I'm not going to act like I have, but I've definitely lived mine, and I know what it's like to feel like you got nothing going, and it's a shitty feeling. So I hope that I can be a breath of fresh air to those people that are feeling that way, and maybe even this kind of conversation can pick you up and let you know that keep fucking pushing, because I was there, and now I'm getting interviewed on this awesome podcast.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. We have one more final comment, and then we got a final question, Daniel. Right? Who's a better friend, Wes, Kyle, Tony? You can pick one.
Tony wins every time. No matter what the question is, Tony wins. Period.
When people think of Devin Walker, what do you want them to remember?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I feel like, because I also don't want to jinx myself and then, have an icicle fall on me. So these aren't my final words.
An icicle.
Okay. Whatever. I don't know.
Of all things to kill you, an icicle, huh?
It's winter. It's Massachusetts. It's reasonable.
It's true. Okay? It's true.
Geez, that's a tough one. I would say that it's really important to me that people don't take themselves so seriously. Because at the worst times of my life, I was taking myself really seriously. And I thought that I was so serious, and everybody needed to be focused on me, and what I'm going through is terrible, and it's never going to get better. And what I really hope people recognize, and this isn't to say that we're insignificant. That is not true. We are significant. We all are something, right? But we don't know what it is. So laugh a little bit more. Don't be so quick to cancel somebody else. Hear them out. Listen to them. Have a dialogue with them. If it's not for you, move on. But I feel so boxed in by all of these constraints that society has put on us to be this way or to be that way and walk on eggshells. Don't say that. Don't say this. Don't say that. I would say, remember from me, don't take yourself so seriously and be okay with making mistakes. And from all the other people out there that are watching other people make mistakes, don't cancel them for it. They made a mistake. You know, was something somebody did 30 years ago, 40 years ago, should not ruin their life now. People change. Give them a chance. I hate seeing this, and it's not even happening to me. But this is one of those situations where I see something bad happening to other people, and I think to myself, if that was happening to me, I wouldn't like it, and I don't like it that it's happening to them. We are killing art, people. We're killing art.
Mm.
You have to be free to express yourself, and you have to be free to express yourself with the understanding that if you're fucking wrong, you can be wrong and someone can tell you that you're wrong and you can learn from that and become better. But if you don't ever feel like you're able to express yourself, then we're just going to be robots.
Yep.
And it's going to be robots of whatever the mob says be robots of. And that is really, really dangerous. So remember from me, if an icicle hits me tonight,
Oh God.
say what you feel and don't take yourself too seriously.
With that being said, it's awesome how you said it, to bring it around a full circle. I know we talked earlier about Johnny and Vince and Jenna, what they said. So do you feel like it's fair that that's being resurfaced today?
Well, first of all, Vince said it.
Well, Vince, yeah, right. Vince said it.
Johnny
Yeah.
didn't say it and Jenna didn't say it. The only reason I brought that up is because we are at such a hypersensitive moment right now, as we should be, that even being associated with somebody that says something like that, you'd be done.
Yes.
Right? I feel like we're all, I don't think this is a secret what I'm saying.
No.
So what was the question?
All I'm saying is, is it fair, do you think, for that past incidents, like the Johnny incident and like the Jordan and Nia incident, to be resurfaced today where people want to get them off the show?
That's a learning experience for people, and I think that it is really important learning experience. And I think that what those situations and in a lot of situations that people have said, people have been really, really insensitive for a long time, and it's good to call those people out for that. It is. It's good to check somebody when they're being insensitive, but the pendulum swings, right? So it was over here, and it is swung way over here. And if you don't do the right thing when it's where you want it to be, it's going to swing back. And that's what I'm afraid of. What I'm afraid of, because as somebody that, to really bring it full circle, that was grown and raised in Northampton, which for me is like an amazing gift for all the reasons that I mentioned before, but mainly because we really were taught about judging somebody based off of their person, not out of any of that other shit, right? But recognizing that it does make a difference. And if you are just so quick to say, you did this, you're done, goodbye, forever, that person never has an opportunity then to become better. Yes. And instead of becoming better, they become resentful and they become more angry, and they double down on that belief because there's no other place for them. You want to know who's on the other side with open arms? The people that really believe all that shit. That's saying, look what they did to you. Look what happened. Come over here where it's safe for you.
Yep.
And so those people that were then on the fence end up moving into situations that they may not necessarily have even wanted to go into, but it was the only people that were saying, hey, here, we will listen. So I don't really care what somebody's opinions are. If I disagree with them, if I'm, think that they're wrong, or a situation like the Jordan and Nia thing, which I don't know a ton about, but it seems like he said some things that were really inappropriate and uncalled for and honestly shouldn't have been said, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
Does that mean for me that he should be done forever? No, it doesn't. Has Johnny said some things that, you want to go even further back? Has he said some things? Yeah. Has everyone that's been on reality TV probably said some things? Yeah. But let's judge them based off of where they are now. We can't take back of things that people said. But isn't the goal to get them to realize that what they said or what they did wasn't okay? Isn't that the goal? And then to have them move forward with the understanding that it's not okay, and to have them teach other people that what I did wasn't okay, isn't that the goal? And if that's the goal, is the best way to achieve that by shunning them?
Yep.
I personally don't think so.
I agree.
I personally don't think the best way to teach somebody is to shut up, go away, and you made your mistake, now live with it forever. And if that is the case, then shouldn't we have some sort of social jail time, right? It's like, how are you going to murder somebody, go to jail for 25 years, get out, and we're supposed to forget that you did it? But you're not allowed to say or do something. Give them a sentence. Say, you want to know what? You're done for this amount of time. Go learn your lesson. Do your time. But what we're doing right now, and it's not even so much the reality TV stuff. It's just like, there's so much of this stuff, and having been in the public eye and still now being in it, I'm telling you, the pressure that we feel for being canceled is worse than the game. It's worse than anything. And for someone like me who just shoots it from the hip, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about stuff. I know who I am as a person. I know what my record is. I know I've been in the streets marching for freedom, marching for equality, marching for all these things for my whole life, literally since I was 4. There's photos of me at protests when I was 4 years old, right? Obviously I was there because my parents were there, but I've continued that. I've moved on with that. I've gone to those things, and I'm still worried. So we're heading in a tough direction, and that is unfortunate. What the network wants to do with people that have made those mistakes, that's their opinion. That's way above my pay grade. And a lot of times they make the right choice. So I'm not going to second guess them, but from a societal level, for anybody that's willing to write somebody off for something that they did or said a while ago, I would encourage you, instead of doing that, to say, maybe this is an opportunity for a conversation, and maybe that person's open to learning. And if they are open to learning, isn't that better than shutting them up?
Yep.
That was a hot monologue. That was a fire monologue. That
was fire. That was definitely fire. I appreciate it. Is it cool we ask you a couple more questions? I know it's getting late in time, but is it cool we shoot a couple more to you?
Yeah, fire them off.
Well, first and foremost, that is one of our co-founders, Archie Spangola. Devin, it was a pleasure having you on the podcast on behalf of everyone here at The Buzz and all our viewers, listeners, and followers. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule for us. You are a true gentleman and an awesome human being. Watch out for those icicles. Man, I want to end on something. I want to end something positive with you. And Wes talked about a little bit. How was it working with Wes outside of the show, doing the project that he's doing that he is doing, and how is that going? How did that come about?
Yeah, Friends and Benefits was awesome. Shout out Sam Bird. Sam Bird is Kayla's fiance. I don't think they've gotten married.
Oh, okay.
Great guy. Shout out our band across the pond. Great band. And yeah, it really was it was just a classic West situation where I had this idea to kind of start this house where reality TV people off of reality TV live and make OnlyFans content. And then Wes was like, well, I'm not super into softcore porn, so let's do that, but do charity work instead, which was a way better idea. So in true Wes fashion, he was able to lock down a mansion, get a camera crew, get producers, and quarantine us all. So we quarantined before entering the house. And then, everybody was tested. We get into the house, and that's kind of how it went from there. was just all of us in there and doing charity work around Kansas City. And he's a great person to work with, and he has a really unique skill set because of Beta Blocks, which is his company where he has, mentored hundreds of businesses at this point. And so he's really, really good at what Wes would call finishing the drill. So I'm more of an idea guy. I'll like have a few pops and be like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And then I rarely follow through on it. Wes will be like, okay, that's a good idea. And tomorrow that plan will be set in motion. And that's what Friends and Benefits was. It was the product of one of the many 2-hour long conversations that me and Wes have on the phone. And, then that's a seed of an idea, and he takes it and he waters it, and he nurtures it, and it becomes a tree. And that's what Friends and Benefits was. And also shout out to Nani. I think the original crew was me, Kayla, Sam, Nani, Wes, Nehemiah, Wes's wife, Amanda, and Alden, who's our camera guy. And that was a fire squad. I mean, from there it became, what it is now, but there's very few, got to mainly give credit to Nani and Kayla, because there's very few people that can get a phone call and be like, hey, we're going to have you move into this mansion for a little while and do charity work, and you're not going to get paid. And like, this is what we're going to do. And they were like, in. So awesome. Kudos to them for being lit.
That's awesome. I gotta love Wes for doing that. That was awesome, man.
Wes is the fucking man. Wes is the man. He's not as cool as Tony. He's not as cool as Tony, but he's right up there. Him and Kyle are like, oh, this is good. This is like my awesome triangle, right? We got Wes, we got Kyle, and then we got Tony right at the top. There's a little triangle of awesomeness. Right? I'm That's somewhere awesome. In the middle, just with a big grin on my face, like.
Dan, you have any final things to say, man?
No, he touched much of it with everything that he was talking about, so I'm good with that.
Cool, man. I know Daniel's battery's dying. Hey, man, we appreciate you taking your time and doing this for us, man. We're up and coming company, and we really appreciate you answering the call for us and doing this for us. It's awesome, man, that you did this. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime, boys. And I'll tell you what, you guys, you keep up that pre-production, and you're going to get a lot more bigger guests than me, because we're not used to it. Typically, it's like a reckless tweet that's got nothing. Listen to other podcasts. Step your game up. They had a scrolling bar of my accomplishments. Okay? I didn't even know that I had all those. There it is. Look at it. It's right there. You should also, at the bottom, next time you have me, Tony, or Wes on, just put at the bottom, one time drank 100 beers in a pool with Wes and Tony.
Listen. It's funny that you brought that up. I would love, if there's a way to get you three on a podcast with us, dude, I'd be fire. I would love that if that would happen. Hopefully that could happen one day.
I'll tell you what, I might be able to do even something better than that. And I've got your number now. I'll text you if I can make it happen.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Thank
Appreciate
you so much.
Having me, guys. Thanks a lot. And the buzz is officially lit.
There it is, baby. Thank you, Devin, man. I appreciate it. Good luck this season, man. I can't wait to watch you on Wednesday night and the rest of the season. Any final things, any little tidbits you can give us before we end this podcast for the rest of the season?
My best work is yet to come, gentlemen.
There it is.
Yeah, strap in and stay focused, because the tides are turning in your boys' favor.
There we go. I like it. Can't wait. I'm excited. All right, guys. Devin, we will talk to you later, man. Hopefully we can catch you at the end of the season. And we'll talk to you soon, my man. Thank you so much again for joining the bus tonight.
Much love, gentlemen.
All right, my man. Man, that was awesome. Probably the longest podcast we've ever done. Sorry guys about the fire alarm, the smoke alarm. Sorry, just those things happen during a live show. A lot to recap. Daniel, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for doing what you did tonight. We are the Buzz. This was a great probably one of my top podcasts I've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We are the Buzz, like I said. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and we will catch you guys soon. Hopefully, we'll get another challenge competitor on here soon.
And hopefully we can get all three of those guys on.
Yeah.
So I'll stay in contact with them, and then we'll try to make it happen.
That would be awesome. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry that it took so long, but things happen. And keep catching us every day. And with our articles and our website and our social media platforms, we are getting huge. And we thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. And we'll catch you guys soon.
See you guys.